Why you can't stop thinking about someone, psychology explained. When you can't stop thinking about someone, it doesn't necessarily mean they are the one or that you are meant to be together. Psychology suggests that repeated thoughts can come from attachment, emotional intensity, unfinished situations, reward mechanisms, and memory. Here are some famous psychological thinkers and authors whose ideas help explain it. 1. Sigmund Freud, unconscious attachment. Sigmund Freud believed that much of our emotional life is influenced by unconscious thoughts and desires. Sometimes, a person can represent something deeper than the person themselves, such as love, acceptance, security, validation, or an unmet emotional need. So you may think, I miss this person. But psychologically, the deeper feeling might be, I miss how I felt when I was with this person. Freud's concept of the repetition compulsion can also help explain why people sometimes repeatedly revisit painful relationships or memories. 2. John Bowlby, attachment theory. John Bowlby is one of the most important figures in attachment theory. According to attachment theory, humans naturally form emotional bonds with significant people. When an important relationship is threatened or lost, the attachment system can become highly activated. That's why after a breakup or separation, you might constantly check their social media, remember old conversations, wonder what they're doing, imagine meeting them again, feel an urge to contact them. Your brain isn't simply being dramatic. It may be responding to the loss or uncertainty of an attachment bond. 3. Robert Zeigarnik, the mere exposure effect. Psychologist Robert Zeigarnik demonstrated the mere exposure effect. Repeated exposure to something can increase our familiarity and liking for it. This helps explain why thinking about someone repeatedly can sometimes make them feel even more important. You see their photo, think about them, remember something. Check their profile, think about them again. The cycle creates more mental familiarity, which can make the person seem increasingly significant. Daniel Kahneman, attention and mental availability. Daniel Kahneman explained how attention and memory influence the way we experience reality. When something becomes emotionally important, our mind becomes more likely to notice information connected to it. For example, after a breakup, suddenly, every song reminds you of them. Every place reminds you of them. Their name seems to appear everywhere. The world hasn't necessarily changed. Your attention has changed. Phoebe. Leon Festinger, cognitive dissonance. Leon Festinger introduced the theory of cognitive dissonance. When reality conflicts with what we expected, our mind tries to resolve the contradiction. For example, they loved me, but they left me. Your brain may repeatedly analyze, why did they leave? Did I do something wrong? Do they still care? What if I had said something different? The mind keeps returning to the situation because it wants a satisfying explanation. The psychology of unfinished business. One particularly useful concept is the Zeigarnik effect, associated with psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik. The basic idea is that incomplete or interrupted tasks can remain more mentally stable than completed ones. This can help explain why an unfinished relationship or unanswered question can occupy your mind. Sometimes you're not obsessed with the person. You're obsessed with the unanswered question. What could have happened? Why did it end? What did they really feel? Will they ever come back? So, why can't you stop thinking about them? Usually, it's not just one reason. It can be a combination of attachment plus emotional memories, uncertainty plus repeated exposure plus unresolved feelings. And there's an important distinction. Thinking about someone doesn't automatically mean you should go back to them. Your brain can continue processing an emotional experience even when consciously you know that relationship isn't right for you. Sometimes healing doesn't mean forgetting the person. It means remembering them without allowing the memory to control your present.